Zahid, are you sure that you could not qualify CSAT? I mean, CSAT has 80 marks. Every question is 2.5 marks, and then you divide it by negative marking is one third of 2.5. Yeah, it's not 2 and one third of 2, that is 1 by 66. One of my friends thought she had not cleared it because she calculated it according to the. Okay. All right. As far as CSAT goes, there's no generic strategy. You just have to pass. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what you are bad at and work on that. How much are you scoring in CSAT, Zahid? Yes. Did you calculate your score? Um, you need to practice then. You need to practice the previous year questions. Don't practice from anywhere else. Practice only from the previous year questions and practice the previous 5 years question and do it very carefully. Okay, because this is very this must it's disheartening me that somebody cleared prelims and did not clear CSAT. I'm with you. I'm feeling your experience. Okay. I really hope that you're able to turn this around, and I hope that your name comes in the mains qualified list. That's all right. Okay. Now, what is Rahul asking me? What was the thought that always stopped me from thinking that you can crack UPSC? I didn't think so much about clearing the exam, Rahul, to be honest. I Every time I used to think about clearing the exam, about competing with 10 lakh people, 10,000 excellent people, 2,000 excellent people, always used to get stressed. It's very competitive, it's difficult. How I used to manage is by convincing myself that my task is to fulfill the next hour, is to live the next hour to the best, the next hour, the hour after that, एक दो घंटे ये टॉपिक मुझे ढंग से करना है. I didn't think about UPSC. At the back of my mind, okay, broad syllabus वगैरह was always there, but I used to always focus on that day, that hour. ठीक है. Doubt yourself, Rahul. You have see, self doubt is there. I had self doubt but also self confidence, right? Like, it's a very difficult exam, not a lot of people clear it. If I don't clear it, then it is not a kalank on me. It is not like I have failed, right? I may be meant for something else. But in terms of that is self doubt, but also I had a lot of self confidence that if not me, then who? Right, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a normal person. I work hard, I study hard, I try to understand the exam. So both thoughts were there. Right? I'm normal, I'm hardworking, I'm focused. Both were there, self-doubt and self-confidence. What my focus was is that don't think about either thing. या तो सेल्फ डाउट या सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस दोनों के बारे में दिमाग मत लगाओ. फोकस ऑन योर स्टडीज. अभी अगले 1 घंटे क्या पढ़ाई करनी है. I was very much about living in the moment, number one, and number two, निष्काम कर्म योग. जो आपकी एफर्ट है वो आप डालिए, फ्रूट्स के बारे में मत सुनिए, सोचिए. ठीक है. आईएएस इजी एग्जाम तो नहीं है जाहिद, इजी तो नहीं है. मैंने तो बहुत मुश्किल में एटलीस्ट मे बी योर इंटेलिजेंस लेवल इज मच हायर, आई एम नॉट अवेयर, but for me it was difficult. I had to work very hard, I had to use a lot of faculties, I had to discipline myself, I had to motivate myself, I needed my friends and my family. Okay. Not karm, Rahul. Nishkam Karm Yog means do your work. Karm means job. Do your work without focusing on the fruits of your labor. रिजल्ट के बारे में मत सोचिए, आज जो करना है वो करिए. ठीक है. Mayank, my history optional booklet in a lot of detail, subtopic by subtopic, is on Unacademy free platform. मैं आपको ऊपर ऊपर से 4-5 बुक्स बता दूंगी, उससे कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. वो आप मेरी बुक लिस्ट देखिए, that is what will help you. It is strategy for history optional. Okay, that is the name of the course. Strategy for history optional UPSC CSE. That's the course. Okay. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Model essays I cannot provide because I did not write any that I can actually share. Medium वालों को I can't help. Any effect or not so? Yes. If your handwriting is very bad, that is the examiner cannot read your handwriting, then you will get -25. But मतलब वो तो बहुत ही गंदी होनी चाहिए, right? It has to be really very bad. Luck and hard work goes hand in hand. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Yes, hard work, smart work, luck, blessings of your elders. It is everything that adds up to clearing this exam. Okay? Mansi, I'm so sorry. I am not sure what you have written. Yes, I am taking a class tomorrow. Let me scroll up and look for Mansi's message. हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ बट एग्जाम इंग्लिश में देना चाहती हूँ, स्ट्रैटेजी बताइए। तो आप एग्जाम इंग्लिश में दे सकती हैं पर आप अपना इंटरव्यू हिंदी में दे दीजिएगा, ठीक है? बट व्हाई डू यू वांट टू गिव द एग्जाम इन इंग्लिश? You can give it in Hindi. Hindi is such a good language. Yeah. Working professionals have to be very careful about their time. Okay. They have to be very careful about their time. Um, 1 second, Pratibha. I want to share your message. Yes. Okay. My strategy is entirely available on Unacademy for free. You can go and access it. Pooja, for practicing questions, you have to look at the previous year questions of UPSC. Okay. Test series, you can do vision, but before test series, I want you to attempt at least the static questions of the past 5 years UPSC exam. Ujjwal, this is my sixth class. No, sorry, ninth class on answer writing. You can join the vision test series. Any tips regarding routine? Okay, Abhijit, I will tell you something. A lot of my see what my batchmates have told me. Some of them were actually working in between pre and mains. And what they said is that they used to wake up early, study for a couple of hours, make sure that they made their own notes online so that they could work in between work also. They could study in between work. And after class also they used to study. So yes, दिन में 4-5 घंटे ही निकल पाते थे, but 4-5 घंटे were enough. Yes, your rank and your language are not connected at all, Mansi. Your rank and your language are not connected. Okay? Um, if you're feeling scared for a paper, you have to prepare for it. सो अभिजीत, आई एम सो सॉरी, आप 4-5 घंटे पढ़ेंगे बट वो 4-5 घंटे बहुत ध्यान से फोकस तरीके से पढ़िएगा. कीप योर स्ट्रैटेजी वेरी सॉर्टेड, डोंट वेस्ट टाइम हियर एंड देयर. एंड ऑल्सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ weekends, try and utilize your weekends the most. Also schedule some time to chill, otherwise you will just get overworked and you might not feel good. Okay. Yes, I think Zahid is right. Okay, now who all are here who want me to check their answers, who have already sent me for their answers? Rahul, do the previous year questions. Alok, Suman, yes, I had to check your answers now. Shivani, what did you ask? Just ask again. Yes. Uh, my VZ, that is exactly what I used for 2 years, and both years I cleared pre. Prakash, I already checked your answer, na? Start by reading the syllabus, Faizan. For the syllabus, you can just go to my course strategy for UPSC. Okay, let's see. Okay, Shivani, how much are you checking your tests properly? I think you have to check the test. You have to take the feedback very seriously. Yeah, Vision is a good test series. See, first of all, जो test series में marks दे रहे हैं उतना ध्यान से मत देखिए. But you have to take the feedback that they give very seriously. Okay, तो अगर आपको मार्क्स मिल रहे हैं तो हर जगह कुछ कुछ तो लिखा होगा ना कि यहाँ पे ये लिखिए, यहाँ पे ये लिखिए. This is another way you can approach it. That is something you can do. Write down an answer and send it to me. I'll take 3 of these lectures tomorrow, and I can test check your answer also. Um, as for how you can send your answers is on my email ID. I don't provide questions. Students pick up questions from UPSC previous year questions. Okay, let's see this. Please read Suman's answer so that you can listen to my feedback also. Methods and terms of, okay. Vital role, methods, terms, powers. Constitution, good, good. I thought I have sent this, checked this one, Suman. Haven't I? Okay. No, Suman, I don't have any other answer from you. Acha, okay, I see CPEC. Wait. History is fine. It's a very simple optional. It actually makes GS and prelims a little easier. The only thing about history is that it's vast, but sources are simple, easy to get. The map work is something, Abhijit, that I found took a lot of effort. Maps, I would have given 2 hours a day to for 2 months. So that is something, I really focused on. For my booklet and sources and all, you can see my course strategy for UPSC CSE. Political science optional, I really don't know about. Okay. Let's see Suman's question. CPEC is viewed as the cardinal subset of China's larger One Belt One Road initiative. Give a brief description of CPEC. Enumerate the resources. Why India has reasons why India has distance. Okay, very good question. Anybody can send me their answers. I'm not taking this on plus so that I can make it accessible for other people also. Those who have the plus subscription, you too can log into any lecture of mine and ask me to check your answer. This is for the non plus subscribers. It is being, I can't read this, as China's ambitious plan considered. Acha. Gwadar Port, good. Okay, you've written it very well. You know what is CPEC and how is it a subset of Belt and Road? That's good. Why India has distance itself? Good. Let's see. Good. Political concern? Good. Terror camps you can underline on top of that. Yeah. Okay. Here you can also write about the string of pearls. That Gwadar port is a part of the string of pearls. Right. Um. Another dimension is added over here, Suman. Acha, okay, you've added it over there. Economic concerns? Okay. The only thing, one more thing you can add, very well done. It's quite well written. Actually, few more things you can write is one, you can mention one of the conferences that India skipped out on. Second, you can say, you can write in the conclusion maybe one line of the benefits of India being part of this to add another dimension. Or you can write about the India Japan cooperation to in Africa. What is that called? Can someone tell me? It's like a BRI only. India, Japan, Africa, the investment that is happening. Asia, Africa, something. Come on, someone would know. I'm done with the exam. Asia, Africa growth corridor. Yeah, thank you, Parvinder. Asia, Africa growth corridor. You can write that India is, add something more in your conclusion if you can. For Abhijit, for maps, Abhijit, just wait for a few days. Demystify CSE एक website है. वहाँ पे I'll do it. Okay, I'm actually trying to upload it on the Plus platform. Yeah. Okay. Now let's check Alok's answer. Sorry, on the free platform, Abhijit, I'm going to upload the maps, at least some of them. ठीक है, सारे तो नहीं हो पाएंगे because it's too much. But I'm going to upload some of them, and I'm going to give you links for the rest of them. Yes, you can choose English literature as an optional. I made my own maps, so I think that would be the best source because I have combined many different sources. Otherwise, market may you get books and stuff. I used Google Maps. Yes, I am trying to provide the same. They are not letting us. They are not letting me update it right now. I'm going to fight for this. Yeah, a little bit. For some reason, there is a. Anyway, I'm going to try. Abhijit, just 5th of July. If you don't have my courses by 5th of July, log back into the special class and tell me that I haven't got your course for maps. Okay? Okay. Let's look at Alok's answer. Why do you think committees are considered to be useful for parliamentary work? Discuss. Role of estimates committee. Okay. Maybe you could have started a little less abruptly, like what is a parliamentary committee, definition of a parliamentary committee. But all right. Just 1 second, Alok. Yeah, let me get Lakshmikant for this. Yeah, so hi Venkatesh, welcome to the lecture. So Alok, you mentioning Article 118 for Parliamentary Committee is a little bit extreme. Article 118 only talks about rules of procedure, right? In Lakshmikant, it is clearly written that the Constitution of India makes a mention of these committees at different places, but without any specific provisions. ठीक है? So don't write the article for this parliamentary committees. There are three important financial committees. ठीक है, okay. I think it would be more prudent to use this space to talk about the importance of the work of parliamentary committees rather than talking about the types of parliamentary committees. This is just a 10 marker, and in 10 markers, especially, you should make maximum attempt to answer the question specifically. Yeah. Amit, see, if it was something like CAG or something like UPSC, something very specific about the Parliament, about Council of Ministers, for which there is an article, then I would demand that you write down the article. I would say your answer is incomplete. If it's a question on freedom of speech and you haven't written Article 19, then I would say your answer is incomplete. But in terms of parliamentary committees, I think. Specifically mentioning an article would make it seem like that article was dedicated to parliamentary committees, whereas it is not. Okay, now estimates committee, that's the second part. You have to talk about the role of the estimates committee and how it helps in parliamentary work. Try and use more gender neutral language in the sense of chairperson, but that won't deduct your marks. They won't deduct your marks at all on this, but it's just my recommendation. Continuous economy committee, good. I am assuming that you have used the correct this thing, so I'm not going into the facts of this, Alok. Yes, legislative matters. Okay, your conclusion is also good, but here I feel like you can always end this with a more important example. Like recently, a parliamentary committee evaluated this act of the government, this bill of the government, or recently, on the advice of the committee, so and so happened. So try and make it a little more contemporary and relevant rather than just trying to repeat the question. Okay? because there's nothing new in your conclusion. So maybe you can make it a little bit more useful. No, improve. Definitely you should do, but it's a good conclusion. It's a good answer, Alok. I'm not writing anything bad, but I'm saying that it can be better because you're just competing with people. It's about competition. पलविंदर वो तो आप यूपीएससी की गाइडलाइंस और नोटिस में देख लीजिए ना. Okay, Shilpi has sent me an answer. Anyone else? What about DAF, Sharu? I want to I want to check the answers. I want to utilize this time for answer checking because so many people have sent me those answers. Okay, Ajay, I have to check. Shilpi, I have to check. How is English as an option? It's a good optional. Okay, Ayushi, I'll check yours. Abhijit, do not try to predict the UPSC exam. It is my serious recommendation to everyone. Don't try to think कि यूपीएससी ज्यादा क्या पूछेगा, सब पढ़ लो चुपचाप. ठीक है. मॉडर्न इंडिया तो ढंग से करना ही है. एंड देन बियॉन्ड दैट यू ऑल सॉ द प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम. For years they haven't been asking from medieval and suddenly they ask so many questions from medieval, right? Okay, let's see. Please send me clear pictures so that everyone can read it. The findings of Niti Aayog Health Index report. Analyze them, okay? Okay, I don't know what is written. Shilpi, you need to send me clearer pictures. What steps can be taken for better this thing? Normal words, Amit. Definitely use normal words. Vocabulary, in the sense, you should have some terms in your hand. You should know how to use terms like democracy, corruption. Basic vocabulary should be there. But what is globalization? Terminology. But fancy words, no. Okay, you started with a quote. You don't really have to write introduction. If you're introducing something, it is very self-evident that it is an introduction. Good health is a fundamental right. Well done. Niti Aayog's report, program and shortcomings of health sector. It is top of the list. Okay, I think they are asking you to analyze the findings, Shilpi. So every time you write something, mention something about it. Okay, like Kerala, Andhra, Maharashtra topped the list. Why did they top a list? Analyze it. What is there something over there? If Uttar Pradesh is the worst performing state, why is it the worst performing state? What can it improve upon? So it's asking you to analyze, not reciprocate the findings. How is this a way forward? Way forward is things we can do ahead. Okay, but you're saying, okay, there are central schemes and state schemes. ठीक है, that's good. There are double schemes. Good. Okay, this is also good, but you can specifically use the term reproductive. Can someone tell me what is that term? Neonatal, reproductive, adolescent, premature. There's a particular acronym for that. Can someone remind me of that acronym? No, nobody knows. Reproductive, maternal, neonatal. This point becomes more comprehensive. Okay, I'll finish this and I'll get that acronym out for you. Special departments, control of communication diseases. Okay. Okay. Two things more I needed over here for sure, which is number one, the health budget and expansion of health budget is needed, and number two, the national health policy that is definitely needed. Thank you, Venkatesh. RMNCHA plus reproductive, maternal, neonatal, child healthcare as well as adolescents. Okay, much care is needed for RMNCHA. Okay, thank you so much, Venkatesh, and all of you can also learn from this. Yes, you'll have to add just one line to analyze it. Okay. But overall, this is a well done question, but it can be much better. Um, Also, instead of way forward, maybe you can write suggestions for better healthcare. Yeah. Because the question is specifically asking you for that. Okay. Now, next, whose answer am I supposed to check? Mangesh. Okay. Ayushi, I already said I would check. Prakash and Ajay, hopefully I'll be able to check. And I think after that, I won't be able to check any answers. Yeah. Last one I can check is Prakash's. Yes, Amit, that will be a separate lecture, Doubts for Beginners. Yeah. It won't come in tips and tricks for answer writing and answer checking and stuff. That would be separate. Perhaps I can take it on 6th of July. I'll schedule it for 6th of July. You can log in for that. All right. Let's check Mangesh's answer. From Kathua to Pil, whatever has happened in the recent times shows that an inherent sense of social probity and decency in our society is waning. Critically analyze the statement in the backdrop of politicization of recent rape incidents that have questioned the safety of all children in India. Okay, that is a heavy question you have picked up, Mangesh. Let's see. The statement is that there is probity and decency waning. So somebody was asking me about vocabulary, basic stuff. What is probity? What is decency? You should know. Yeah. Then you have to critically analyze it in the background of politicization of rape incidents. Good. You have talked about a statistic. Reasons for rise in rape cases. I don't think it has asked you anywhere for reasons of rise of rape cases. It is asking you to analyze the waning of social probity and decency. Okay? Okay. Now, are there people over here who can critically analyze that increased incidents of rapes are leading to social probity and decency loss? Can you give me some statements to back that? For that, one example would be rise in rape cases. Low conviction rate as a reason for rise in rape may not be the right thing. See, again, low rate of conviction can be a reason, can be an example of social decency waning, right? Of communal decency waning. The way we are talking about rape cases on media trials, that can be a example of social decency waning. Then you have to critically analyze it. So perhaps you have to write about negative about better things, that no, it's not just that, it maybe we are talking so much more about rape because our awareness regarding rape has increased. The increased focus on rape has led to so many more awareness generating campaigns like blame me, hashtag me too. Yeah, very good, Venkatesh. So I think your answer needs to be more focused on the question. Overall, you have understood the problem of rape, but your understanding of how to answer a UPSC questions needs more work, right? 1 year, Amit. Okay, then what is the second part? Okay, politicization of rape cases, you have not talked about that. Okay, it's a generic answer about rape, it is not an answer to the question. But it's good that you're able to organize your question, your answer, your language is good, your presentation is good, uh, basic understanding of facts about rape is good. Question answering needs more effort. Okay, let's check out Ayushi's answer. Prakash, Google the definition of elucidate and share that with me. Can you all hear me right now? The answer that Ayushi has attempted is, under what circumstances can financial emergency be proclaimed by the President of India? What consequences follow when such a declaration remains in force? This is a UPSC question from 2018, GS paper 2, and I think it's an excellent question for beginners. People who have started studying today can attempt this question. All you need is Lakshmikant. Go to chapter 16, open the subheading of financial emergency, read that and try to answer this question. And then you'll have an idea of what kind of static basic questions UPSC asks. Okay? So if you're a beginner, Amit, you're here. How to start answer writing is like this. Pick up simple questions from UPSC and start writing them straight away. It doesn't make an impact on marks. It just utilizes your time to write introductions, right? अब आपके पास 5 मिनट है बस आंसर लिखने के लिए 10 मार्क. Okay. I hope you take my recommendations in a positive way, Mangesh. Yeah? Okay, let's see here. Article 360 good, president good, financial situation is threatened good. Basic consideration is that financial security or credibility of India is threatened. Maybe you can write specifically those words: financial security and credit of India is threatened. India or any part of India. Maybe you can use the more legal language. It can be declared when both houses of the parliament have approved this within 2 months from the date. Okay. Okay. You can write that it can be unilaterally revoked by the president. And maybe the approval wala point you can write with approval, not with revocation. Little bit of reorganization. Consequences, executive authority of the center extends to the state. Where does it extend to? Okay. Right, Supreme Court, High Court. This is the feedback I got from my vision test series, that do not use short forms. Do not expect that the person in front of you knows what SCHC means. Center have full control. Okay. Also, I would request you to write a conclusion, maybe something simple like a financial emergency has not been declared in India so far. Otherwise, your question answer is quite good. You have answered the question, you stuck to the point, you have organized it well. Just this particular point of organization can do with some benefit. Your language, your command over language is good. Little bit of grammatical mistakes here and there are okay. Right? People keep asking me grammatical errors कितने हो सकते हैं? इतने हो सकते हैं जिसमें इसमें है, जिसमें जितने इसमें हैं. It can be declared when both houses. Of course, it can be declared, but that is fine if you write declare or declared. More than that, if your grammar is so bad that the person in front cannot make sense of what you're saying, that is not grammatically acceptable. Okay? No, Ayushi, it's a good answer. It's as a first answer, it is excellent. Even as a final answer in your exam, it is acceptable. Okay? Now, whose answer do I have to check? Okay, Ajay, let's check it out. Okay. Okay. Guys, one expectation I would like to kill right now. Please don't expect me to check the answers in my own time. I will only check the answers when I'm online, not offline, right? In general, your emails and stuff, if you have doubts, I can reply to them. Um, but even if you have emailed me an answer, I'm not able to check it. Please know that at least you wrote an answer, and that is something you can be proud of. Yeah. Prakash, I may not have time to check your answer. Let's see. ये check करके बताते हैं. Okay. Rashmi, I can try to do that. Okay, let's see. So wait, let me share Prakash's, Ajay's question. It's from 2013. Ajay, will you be writing the mains? Cyber warfare is considered by some, okay, let's see this. Cyber warfare is considered by some defense analysts to be larger threat than even Al Qaeda or terrorism. What do you understand by cyber warfare? Outline the cyber threats which India is vulnerable to and bring out the state of the country's preparedness to deal with the same. Okay. In a UPSC answer, like in an essay, this is a good introduction. For a UPSC answer, I would ask you to start straight up with the points. Okay, like even your introduction has to have a lot of weight to it, factual weight, because time ही नहीं होता है ज़्यादा लिखने का. Maybe we can have a better in this thing over here. Cyber warfare, better definition of cyber warfare. For example, on a simple Google, I see it is the use of computer technology to disrupt activities of a state or an organization, especially deliberately attacking information systems for strategic or military purposes. So, cyber warfare, I mean, here the focus of your definition is on the kind of people who can engage in cyber warfare. It is not on information and computer technology, which is something that I wanted the cyber warfare definition to be focused on. The only thing regarding information technology you have used is hacking. Yeah. Whereas you see the emphasis difference. So I think this can be better. Okay, outline the threats that India is vulnerable to. We are good. It's a developing economy. We are implementing new technology. Cyber threats to India, outdated cybersecurity policy. Okay, mention the policy over here, which is the latest policy that we have. Aadhaar data. Okay, good. We are creating a massive identity data bank. Are we prepared in terms of policy, law, and financial literacy to protect it? You know, you need to frame your answer around that. Not almost every citizen is being enrolled, it can be compromised. Defense information, okay. Trade wars, okay. Um, some of the areas where we are vulnerable to cyber threats, maybe more. Are our ministries IT systems completely secure? Are our corporate IT systems completely secure? Are citizens having basic digital literacy to secure their smartphones? Those are some more points that I was looking for. Okay, India's preparedness. CERT, very good. Is the first thing I was looking for. Cyber Dost of Home Ministry, good. Regulatory laws. Mention the regulatory laws specifically. कौन सी हैं? ठीक है. Okay. Overall, your answer is fine. One more thing is I want you to make a comparison of cyber warfare with terrorism because it's there in the question, right? It is a larger threat than terrorism. So maybe in your introduction or your conclusion, you can focus on that. Outline the cyber threats, mention more cyber threats, and bring out the state of country's preparedness. Mention more things that we are prepared with. Also mention gaps in our preparedness. All right. And then maybe you can conclude in terms of when you're writing about new technology, then think that, okay, we are trying to become a smart city based country. We want 100 smart cities. Are we prepared to protect that entire smart city infrastructure, which is a IT based infrastructure? That is something I need. Okay. More information here. Structure, okay, as I've told you, introduction is has to be more to the point. uh, Definition has to be more to the point. Handwriting is fine, and I need you to underline at different places. Otherwise, the structuring is fine. You've got an introduction, cyber threats to India, most important point you have answered. India's preparedness, you have answered. There is no conclusion, there should be a conclusion, right? Okay. Um, so that is all for today. Rashmi has asked me to share generic tips on answer writing. I want to tell you two, three things. Number one, how to begin. Start with static portions of the previous year questions. Previous 5 year questions, do the static questions. Number two, do not separate answer writing from studying. Whatever you are studying, find a previous year question relevant to it and answer it. I would never consider that I have done a topic until and unless I have solved questions on it, both prelims and mains. So do not wait for answer writing. I will complete the syllabus and then I will write the answers. I think is a wrong approach. Um, Now, when you actually come to answer writing, read the question carefully. Like today, also, we had a couple of questions where I said, okay, here you have answered the question, here you have not answered the question. So you have to answer the question. You do not have to write information that you know. Okay, that is there. Number two, introduction, body, conclusion is broadly a good way. Answer every part of the question, and to give subheadings, you can structure your answer along with the question. Like he has given over here, cyber threats to India, one subheading point. India's preparedness, subheading, and then points. That's a good way to structure it. Do not get a little bit, don't get emotional or moral or trying to give lessons. And for mains answers, I generally stay away from quotes also. Start it in a basic factual or definitional manner in terms of what is the importance of the question, or what is the definition of something being asked in the question. Conclude it, but conclusions should not be a repetition of the question, and conclusions can be a summary only if you have nothing else to write. Usually add something else in your conclusion as well. Use that answer writing space to show more knowledge. Substantiate your answers. Whatever you're writing, give examples. Suppose you say that with cyber threats, India's data privacy is threatened. For example, uh, ransomware attack, Petya attack, etc. Okay, so those are certain tips I need you to keep in mind. Give a lot of examples, give a lot of factual information, give statistics wherever you can. That is my sincere request, and do practice the questions from previous year papers. Right? Now that's all what I want to say. I'm sorry I wasn't able to check all the answers or answer all the questions. I tried to check as many as I could. I'll be taking 3 more of these tomorrow. You can sign up for them, and we can discuss your answers over there also. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. I think 12 o'clock is the first lecture tomorrow, Suman. Thank you. Bye bye.